Right.
I develop seasonings and rubs for other companies. I'm an ambassador for Prairie Fresh. I do some work for Kingsford. I got a lot of irons on the fire. I just opened a catering company yesterday called Green Tomato Catering. So today's our big catering. So
have you thought about opening other locations of Memphis Barbecue Company?
I do have one in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Any others here? Any thought of any others here?
I'm getting old.
Yeah.
Restaurant business I've been in it 38 years. And for me at this juncture, I really, really enjoy what I do with sauces and seasonings and caterings. And right now, shipping is really where I want to be. I have so many people that I can reach cooking barbecue and shipping it to them and getting it to their front door. Right. I could do that so much faster than I could open a restaurant.
With opening a place in Mississippi, why did you use the Memphis barbecue as the name? Just because it was the Memphis style of barbecue?
I get that question all the time. Memphis Barbecue Company is indicative of the style of barbecue.
Yeah.
As you know, barbecue is very regional. You have the Carolinas, you have Kansas City, Texas, Memphis. And I tell people all the time, obviously, Memphis-style barbecue is the best. If you think about it, you break it down, Memphis is centrally located in those regions of barbecue.
Yeah.
The great thing about Memphis-style barbecue is you have the vinegar from East Coast, you have salt and pepper really from Texas, and you have the sweet and sticky from Kansas City. But Memphis-style barbecue incorporates all of those. Mm-hmm. It is the most well-rounded barbecue. And that's what makes Memphis barbecue the best. It's damn sexy. I mean, Memphis barbecue's sexy.
I'm still trying to do the math in my head. She's been in the business 38 years. Did you start when you were 3?
2.
Why
would you insult her and say 3?
Exactly. 2. Well, I meant 2. I meant to say 2. So 7-time world champion. The juice is still flowing to compete every time, or you get a little tired of kicking tail? Do you want to win 20 of them, or do you want to slow down a little bit?
Well, I really only compete at Memphis in May anymore because that's my holy grail.
Right.
I have competed on the Kansas City circuit, where they cook brisket and chicken and other things. But Memphis in May is my holy grail. I mean, why?
Right.
That's what really gets my juices flowing is Memphis in May. So I still compete there every year. I do a lot of international traveling now.
Oh, do you?
I'll be in Guatemala this time next week.
Wow.
So.
Is there any, in these other places that do their barbecue, is there any event that's even like close to what Memphis in May is at the scale of it?
Well, Memphis in May is the largest pork cooking contest. And, in Memphis, we think of barbecue as pork.
Right.
And for me, that's what barbecue is. So in answer to your question, no. I mean, we're the best looking contest. Because we set up, we look good, we have on-site presentations, we go all out. So, no. Memphis will always be the best.
No, there's no doubt. I can't imagine, because Barbecue Fest, people, it's my favorite event this city has. I love it. And I just can't imagine in any other place having anything even close to what it is.
Well, I have a 2-person team, and I spend 364 days a year concentrating on Memphis in May.
You only 2 people on your team?
Yes, sir.
Holy cow!
And they win.
That's a lot of work.
And they win that much.
Yeah,
and they win because their stuff is good.
I've only competed there, I guess, since I've been competing over 20 years, but I've only competed at Memphis in May, I guess, since 2007 or so.
Wow!
I couldn't afford to. I was broke.
Well, you're doing all right now, right?
I'm all right.
It's Melissa Cookston. Again, the restaurant is Memphis Barbecue Company, and it's in Horn Lake, but she also has one in Atlanta if you're in the Atlanta area. 7-time world champion, Hall of Famer. And she's providing food today for our listeners and for the residents here at Town Village Audubon Park. Thanks so much.
Thank you for
really
having
appreciate
me.
that.
Thanks, Melissa.
We need to take a timeout. We'll come back. Matt Dillon will join us for the Tiger Basketball Report. We'll have 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. Their newly renovated drive-in repair shop is open to the public. Whether it'll be your everyday driver, farm equipment, fleet vehicle, or heavy-duty truck, their ASE-certified technicians will get you back on the road. The on-site dyno is ready to run all the necessary diagnostic testing. From preventative maintenance to complete overhauls, Mid-South Power can handle it all. Stop in today at 3288 Mill Branch Road or call 901-396-0710 and online at mid-southpower.com.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. How old is your water heater? With most of the water heaters in the Mid-South located in the attic, the worst day you can replace your water heater is one day too late. It may be time for a tankless water heater from Conway Services that never runs out of hot water. Plus, these energy-saving models only heat the water you use, saving you money on your gas bill every month. Most 10-year-old water heaters were about 65% efficient when they were new, compared to a tankless water heater from Conway Services that's up to 98% efficient. Plus, right now, get your tankless water heater from Conway Services for as low as $79 per month, or I'll give you $300 for that old tanked water heater. And no more worrying about that tank bursting in your attic either. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier tankless water heater professionals at 384-3511. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old water heater will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
I'm here interviewing Macaulay Williams, CEO of Big River Distilling Company here in Memphis. Macaulay, tell us about the uniqueness of your Blue Note Bourbon and Riverset Rye.
Well, Eli, both my products, Blue Note Bourbon and Riverset Rye, are produced right here in Memphis, Tennessee. The Blue Note Bourbon is a premium small batch blend, minimum age of 9 years, served at 93 proof. The Riverset Rye is a straight rye whiskey, also at 93 proof. It's a great spicy, herbaceous tone. It's great in cocktails.
Where can folks find the Blue Note Bourbon and Riverset Rye?
Both products can be found at any local liquor store here in Memphis and also at most bars and restaurants. Next time you're around the town, be sure to ask your bartender for a glass of Blue Note or Riverset.
And is there anywhere else that folks can get more information about your products?
Yeah, absolutely. At our website, BlueNoteBourbon.com or RiversetRye.com. Also, be sure to follow us on social media at Blue Note Bourbon or at Riverset Rye.
All right, well, that sounds great. I can't wait to try a bottle.
Yeah, Eli, I really appreciate the support, and hopefully you and your listeners can pick up a bottle today.
Your Memphis Tigers football program completed the greatest season in program history with 12 wins, a conference championship, and a berth in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Season tickets for the 2020 season are on sale now and start at just $100 when you buy 4 in the family fun zone, or $150 for end zone seating. Get your season tickets by May 15th and receive a free gift, concessions deals, exclusive access to regular season and postseason tickets, and more. Get your season tickets today at GoTigersGo.com or call 901-678-2331. Memphis Tigers football.
The doors never close 24 hours a day at Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town. Garvin, the owner, created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 12 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games. Rack them up on 6 pool tables. Coldest beer in town, grab you a pool stick and get you some good bar grub. 100% Angus burgers, big and moist chicken tenders. Daily happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. with long neck domestics, $2. Getaway Sports Bar, 4632 Winchester.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1, and 87.7 FM. As well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quincy White Station. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Guys are hot.
Welcome back, everybody, to the final hour of Sports 56 Middays, broadcasting live today from Town Village Audubon Park. It's the Friday, March 6th, 2020 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoie on location. Zach Boyd in today for Gabe Kuhn, producing the program back in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Sports 56 Middays delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor. That's FedEx. FedEx can help provide global access for your business. Learn more at FedEx.com/e-commerce. And the third hour of the program is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at 5143 Quince Road, right next door to Billy Hardwick's All-Star Lanes. Ace is all about convenience and service. It's about that personal human touch, which you don't get at the big box stores. Fast service, competitive prices, and they have everything, ladies and gentlemen. Check them out, East Memphis Ace Hardware. Eli, still plenty of time for folks to come by and register to win our great prizes and grab some of that barbecue as well.
That's right. Of course, the barbecue. Just talked with Melissa Cookston from Memphis Barbecue Company that is available for folks to have for lunch. You can also register to win. We're going to be giving away some golf at Wedgwood Golf Club, $50 Butcher Shop gift certificate, some Malco movie passes as well that we'll be drawing for at the end of this hour just for coming by. We do have, I think, one Sports 56 T-shirt remaining, and we have a few of these Memphis football, the official game day program that was handed out the day the Tigers beat Tennessee in 1996. And these things are in mint condition. You can grab one of those when you come on by as well. We also have Ole Miss baseball tickets for their series this weekend with Princeton. Games today, tomorrow, and Sunday. We've got tickets for all three.
It is Friday. It's time for Matt Dillon.
It's time to talk Tiger hoops. It's the Tiger Basketball Report with Matt Dillon of the Tiger Radio Network. The Tiger Basketball Report is brought to you by Neil's Bar and Grill, Binswanger Glass, Getaway Sports Bar, Big River Distilling Company, and Central Barbecue. Here are Greg, Eli, and Matt.
Matt Dillon joining us here on location. You can follow him on Twitter at Big Blue Matt. Late night, Matt, but at least it was a home game. You didn't have to fly in from some other city and join us today. How are you?
I'm doing good. I got out just in time. My pumpkin was out there at midnight, and I dodged the hour, so I got home okay.
So just before 12?
Just before I walked in the house, and boom, that was it.
I'm sure there were a lot more happy people, although obviously we'll get into what happened the day before off the news or off the court news. But I'm sure there were a lot of happy people that called in to the post game with you and Jeff after watching arguably, and I think it was the best performance overall of the season when you take everything into consideration.
Yeah, it was a good performance, and you really didn't know how this team was going to react coming back home against Wichita State. A good basketball team, won 22 games coming into last night, but you could tell it was really a weird night because they got down 7-0. You're going, oh, geez, here we go again. And we went to the first timeout, and I turned to Dave and I said, well, you remember it was 8-0 Houston. Yeah, the game they played here. I said it's just going to be a carbon copy, and it's weird how it turned around. They went ahead 9-7, and after that, we're never really in trouble. I thought their defense last night was one of the big factors in that game. They got after Wichita State and made them very uncomfortable offensively. They're not a good shooting team. They're last in the league in field goal percentage in the American. The Tigers really made them pay for that. They did not get good looks, and they did not look cohesive in their offense, and that's one of the big staples for Greg Marshall is the fact they run so much half-court offense. They do double drags. They do pin downs, a tremendous amount of early stuff, actions that they go into in their offense, and the Tigers just stuffed them out. They physically dominated them on the defensive side.
It really is amazing to me how many times this year now, like whether it be the very beginning of the game or the very end of the game, that Memphis goes through these 4, 5, 6-minute scoring droughts.
Yeah, it's really crazy when you think about it. It's amazing. It's like, well, let's just take 5 or 6 minutes off on offense. It's really mind-boggling. I know the staff has to be really frustrated, Eli, because, you know, when you have droughts like that, that really makes it hard on you to stay in games a lot of times because you get too far behind and you hit the stride again. And they've lost some games like that. They've gotten to the wire, just not enough to get over the finish line again to pick up some wins. But I thought – once they got the lead last night, I thought they were pretty steady most of the way. And Harris, he's shooting the ball well right now.
Yeah.
In the last 4 or 5 games, he's really played real well. That is a bonus for this basketball team because it opened up so much stuff for them. You can't guard a guy.
No, Matt. And we say it all the time. If Tyler's going to make some shots, he needs to be on the court. If he's going to go 0 for 7, he doesn't need to be on the court. But he has been sensational of late. They really need that offense because it's not a great shooting team.
Yeah, you think about last night, and look at him on the defensive side again. Had a very tough night, and he's out on fouls. He fouled out, so it shows you he's having trouble defending some of those guys. Bigger guards, and it's not a big mystery to anybody, and that's just the way it's going to be. When you're at that height, and they're going to take you down, and they're going to do things to you.
I thought that Precious, you can pencil in double-double.
Well, he only had 4 field goals last night.
Right.
Greg Marshall said he's not going to beat me. Now, that's what he was going to do last night, and fortunately the other guys picked up the slack.
But that's what makes him so impressive. You still pencil in a double-double. He did not have a great shooting night. He's 4 for 11. Like you said, he made 4 field goals. Still had 14 points. Still had 16 rebounds.
Yeah, they're inside guys that impress me. Ekeniche's okay. He's not a good defender. He can score a little bit, but Wade didn't do anything last night, really. He did zilch. Pooh Bear is I don't know what the deal is with him.
I don't care.
He's got a nice name.
The name's
Is
awesome.
it Pooh Bear? I thought it was Poor Bear.
I call him Pooh Bear. I call him Pooh Bear.
It's just the name is so awesome that I like that guy.
It's from Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, it's the way he played last night. I mean, he was soft. I mean, how can a guy be that big?
He's a big boy,
and he is huge. Look at that. I mean, he's just soft. Though.
They have those big lumbering guys. The one guy you mentioned, I forget how to pronounce his name. He's got a little bit more offensive skills, but none of it compares to what you're looking at in a Precious Achiuwa. That's why Precious Achiuwa is going to be possibly a lottery pick.
Well, Greg, you're right. Both you guys know. I mean, he's the best player in the league now. Let's be honest about it. Everybody knows it. I don't know if he's going to get the award or not. I think he should, obviously, but we'll see what happens. I know Cumberland and a lot of people are going to push him to get it. I don't think he's had a good a year as Mr. Achiuwa, obviously, but
with if Tulsa ends up winning the league, which they've got the 1-game lead now,
they do.
There's nobody on their team that would be a candidate, right?
I wouldn't think so.
If Houston had won the league outright and maybe pretty easily, then maybe you could look at a Caleb Mills or something like that,
or Hinton or somebody.
But
maybe,
it's hard to with Tulsa. So maybe if Tulsa wins it, that means they'll the first place team doesn't really have anybody, and especially if the Tigers could get the 4 seed, then I think he probably gets it.
I think so. He should get it. I mean, I don't know how you can't give it to him. I mean, let's be frank about it. And this league has done some crazy things, so I'm not going to say it won't happen. It should not happen. He's been the most consistent all year long. You take him off this team, boy, I'll tell you now, you see what kind of MVP he is, because he does so many things, not just scoring. I'm talking about rebounding. He alters shots. He blocks shots.
Right.
You can take the ball out of bounds with him and use him in the backcourt. He does so many things to help this team, and he's a guy that he's got a star written all over him. No question.
He had 3 more blocks last night. You make a great point about him. 17 double-doubles now, but there's a scenario where they would finish 6th, right? If they're 6th, I don't know if the MVP is going to come from unless they.
But who would you give it to?
When is the voting done? When do they vote for this? After the tournament? It's not going to
happen.
No,
it's before.
No, they'll vote
it's before. Yeah, they announce it during the tournament.
Yeah, it's usually announced like the day before. I think it'll be
you go early
Tuesday or something like that.
Well, they've cured that. We were in Hartford, and SMU won those awards that year. They didn't show up, and they were not happy about that. So now they make everybody go a little bit earlier. Yeah. It was so funny. Here's the MVP of the.
I'm sure.
Where is it?
That's
Nobody's
terrible.
Here.
That's terrible.
It's
but
awful.
if they're the 6th seed, I want him. I hope. I think he's deserving, but I don't know if.
Well, who would you give it to? Might be Cumberland. I mean, who else would you give
Who's
it to?
The guy with?
You don't give it to guy at East Carolina. They haven't won any games.
What about
hardly.
Houston?
I think Mills would be the guy for Houston.
Mills possibly.
But again, if they finish 2nd.
It's better than 6th.
It'd be different if they won the league by 2 games. But now if they're finishing 2nd or even maybe in a tie for 1st, which is a possibility, but I don't know. It's all you're trying to guess how people think. Some people will care where the team finishes. Other people won't care and just say, this guy is so clearly the best player in our league, we should give it to him. Yeah. I do agree that they will split, I think, probably with Mills, the freshman of the year and player of the year, which will be ridiculous, and that one of them, the player of the year could be a freshman, and yet he won't be freshman of the year.
Yeah, this league really, there's not a lot of individual stars of that magnitude, and that's one of the differences, I think, in this year. Some of the years you'll have 4 or 5 guys that are considered. There's not many that really, to me, get to that level this year. Now, next year it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more players that have a chance to do it.
But you look at last year, clearly when the voting was done, they cared where the team finished because Cumberland got it over Jeremiah Martin.
Exactly.
So it's pretty much the same people voting. So if last year it mattered to them where the team finished, clearly that's something that they're going to look at. Now, Cumberland had a great year.
He did. He really had a good year last year.
I don't think – and you could make that argument. I think Jeremiah Martin had a better year. Cumberland at least, I think, was somewhat comparable. This, if you're just looking at numbers, Precious is clearly the best player in the league.
Well, there's no question about it, but you know how guys vote. I mean, it's just – some guys are not going to vote for somebody because they don't like a team. There's a lot of things go on in that too. But I think he deserves it. I mean, if he doesn't get it, I'll be surprised.
Where did Memphis finish? Where was Memphis last year?
Fifth.
And Cincinnati was second?
Yeah, they won the tournament last year. So
it could be fairly similar. Memphis is going to finish in that 4th, 5th, 6th range. Houston would finish possibly second. Could be a same type situation. Well, we'll see. I don't. Again.
Well, one thing's for sure. You can't, but people will still try to argue that they're lacking talent because Jeffries is out for the year and Wiseman departed. When you have possibly the player of the year and a guy we're saying deserves to be player of the year. So there's still talent, and we saw that last night beating Wichita State the way they did. So I hate that argument that, oh, well, they're losing all these games because they were depleted with their talent. No. They won. You know what? Why they won the game last night, aside from all the things we talked about? 7 turnovers.
That's what I was about to mention. That was the next thing I was going to mention, 7 turnovers last night. And that's a good number. But you can have 6 or 7 turnovers. I mean, that's not bad. And
right.
And even you could have 10 or 11 if you play a fast pace. That's not a bad number. You get up 18 to 20, then you start really having a lot of problems. But they did protect the basketball last night. Shows you the difference of playing at home a lot of times, too. I mean, they were comfortable last night. They got in a groove. But they were aggressive from the beginning. I know they fell behind, but they still were aggressive on the defensive side. They just took Wichita out what they wanted to do on the offensive end.
Well, the thing we've seen, the Houston game at home, when you mentioned the same thing where they had the terrible drought to start the game and didn't score for 6.5 minutes. And then last night, not scoring. If they weren't so good defensively, that could be a 15. Like that Houston game could have been 15-0 right off the bat, but it was like 8-0 because they're so good defensively that even when they go 5 minutes without scoring, they're not out of the game. They still give themselves an opportunity.
Right. Well, the first Wichita game they did this year up there, they had some droughts up there as well. It's just they go through these spells, and I guess that's probably the symptom of a young team. Again, they're still young. People say that they're still young. They're young. Learning things, even though you played a year. And look at the difference. And look at Lomax and Harris. The difference between those two guys last year and this year, that year has been a big, big difference in those guys. And I thought Lomax played well last night.
But I still think if you turn the ball over 20-plus times, doesn't give you much of a chance to win, yet they were in a lot of those games where they turned the ball 20-plus times with chances to make plays down the stretch. If you turn the ball over, like you said, 10, 12 times because you're a fast-paced team, I said, between 8 and 10, you probably win most of those games because you're not giving the team extra possession. So I don't think it comes down to necessarily experience and definitely not talent. But your point about the difference between the freshman year for those two and their sophomore years is night and day. Although Lomax still does some things that you scratch your head about.
Well, they turn it over at times. It kind of aggravates you sometimes. Yeah. You kind of clench your teeth, but then he makes 2 good plays in a row. He's a hard guy to guard because of the way he's built.
Well,
he's a strong guy.
They all care. They all fight. They know what's at stake. Let me ask you this. We know what's at stake. You win Sunday, you get a first-round bye. We know how much easier it is. It's not easy, but we know how much easier it is to win 3 instead of 4 in the conference tournament to get the AQ. What are the chances after beating them here that they can go down to Houston early morning Sunday game and win again?
Well, I think the big thing going down there to me is the time of that game because that's an early game. Now, in the city of Houston, they've had times where they don't draw people during better starts. I'm talking about 2 o'clock or 7 at night, and you look in there and there's a lot of empty seats. Will there be a lot of people in that building tomorrow morning? I think that's one question.
Was it Cincinnati they hosted last week?
I believe it was Cincinnati.
Now, that was an afternoon game, but it was still Sunday, and that place was packed. It was absolutely packed.
Because, 11 in the morning, now you're still some people going to church, some people whatever. They got plans to do something, seeing their family or whatever.
Sleeping.
Well, sleeping, yeah. Because you're going to lose an hour. That's another thing. You're going to lose an hour.
That's right.
And you got to travel, which kind of crazy thing too. And us broadcasters, old as we are, I don't know we'll get up that early to do the game on Sunday. But I think that's one thing. Second, if it's not full, I think can you generate enough enthusiasm? I think that's the thing. You can't be intimidated going in there because that's a small place now. It's not very big, and I think that's one thing. Even though it might not be full, those fans are really near you. I mean, they're close. I mean, you're talking about here that right there. I mean, it's really, really close. I think that's the second thing. And the third thing, I think you're going to have to withstand maybe the start of Houston. Now, they're going to be fired up for this game. Now, after what happened to them yesterday, I mean, they're going to come out juiced.
And they know they have to win it to have a chance to win. And they're probably looking at it thinking, there's a decent chance Tulsa will lose. They're on the road. Like there certainly is very reasonable that Tulsa could lose a game.
Sure.
So if we win this, we still got an opportunity.
Yeah, Wichita's not an easy place to play, even though I don't think they're as good as they were last year, obviously, and they struggled last year. This has been 2 years for him. You know, the step up in league, I think, has maybe bothered him a little bit from the Valley to the American. They're recruiting just a little bit different, maybe. You took Baker and Van Vliet and those guys, and they weren't really four-star guys, but they panned out and developed. And that's hard to do that consistently, and I think that's one of the things that recruiting-wise that's hurt them a little bit. But, yeah, Houston should be, I mean, really juiced for this game. If they can withstand the start, and if they get down 8-10, 12-0 there, it's going to be a whole different story than it was here, obviously.
Can you hang a little bit longer?
Sure.
Okay, we want to ask when we come back about all the off-the-court news and your thoughts on that. And also, they announced yesterday, I don't know if they announced it. Yeah, I think they announced it, but I saw it on the board last night at FedEx Forum, the Centennial team. The women the other day, they announced that, but it was the men last night. I wanted to get your thoughts on if you think that was a good decision of the 10 that they picked for the University of Memphis men's basketball all-Centennial team. In the meantime, great sponsors bringing you the Tiger Basketball Report.
That's right. Central Barbecue, one of those. We talked about barbecue and all the great barbecue places around the town. Of course, Central Barbecue, which we had yesterday at our remote over at Ladd's. You could also Getaway Sports Bar, one of our great sponsors here. And I don't have my list with me right now. So
I put you on the spot. Sorry, man.
I'm drawing a blank here. Big Swinger Glass,
is Neil's?
Neil's Bar and Grill
right.
as well. And the folks who bring you Tiger Basketball Report, all big Tiger Basketball Report. Speaking of Central Barbecue, by the way, I saw Craig Blondis last night down there.
Yep.
And he's, of course, always courtside at the Tiger games as well. But also want to remind folks to come on by here and see us at Town Village Audubon Square. You still got about we'll call it 30 minutes to get on by and register for the golf at Wedgwood, the Butcher Shop gift certificate, the Malco movie passes as well. We also have 2 of the football programs remaining from the Tiger victory over Tennessee in 1996. We got a couple of those. You can grab one of those when you come on by. The T-shirts are all gone. We do still have some Ole Miss baseball tickets for this weekend as well. If you'd like to go see some baseball action down in Oxford, come on by and see us. Ask for tickets, and we'll hook you up with tickets for either today, tomorrow, or Sunday's games. If you want to watch the Tiger game Sunday morning, the folks at East Coast Wings and Grill, they open up at 11 o'clock on Sunday morning, so they'll have the game on there as they always do over at East Coast Wings and Grill. Of course, great food, great drinks to choose from over there. When talking about East Coast Wings and Grill, we're talking about 60 different flavors of wings to choose from, all available in 7 different heat indexes. Monday is Wing Day with 65-cent boneless wings, 75-cent bone-in. Every day from 3:30 to 6, that's Monday through Friday, 3:30 to 6, and 9 to close is happy hour. $12 domestic buckets, half price on appetizers and some draft beers, 2-for-1 wine for the ladies. That's during happy hour, Monday through Friday, 3:30 until 6, and 9 to close. East Coast Wings and Grill just off Highway 64 next to the Lowe's in Bartlett for whatever games are on. Tonight with the Grizzlies, tomorrow night Grizzlies, Sunday with the Tigers, XFL, whatever it is. They have it on all the TVs. You can find it at East Coast Wings and Grill.
All right, a little bonus time with Matt Dillon when we return, plus 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, that's AM 560, 96.1 FM, and 87.7 FM.
The word is out about R&R on Sports, where you've heard interviews from Ken Griffith Jr., Dr. J, Hank Aaron, and many, many more. Right here, R&R on Sports, Saturday mornings, 9 a.m., Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Don't miss it.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off of Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday baked chicken, Tuesday chicken fried steak, yum, fried chicken livers every Wednesday, Friday Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $7.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $9.99. And veggie plate, $8.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry. Let's go. You drive, I'll buy.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's.
Every Wednesday, world-famous Elmo and the Shades. No cover charge, 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. at Neil's Bar and Grill.
Where the fat man rocks.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry: Honda mowers, trimmers, and generators, Steel blowers, trimmers, and chainsaws, Echo trimmers, blowers, and chainsaws, plus quality products from Red Mat and Shindawa. And they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
I'm here interviewing Macaulay Williams, CEO of Big River Distilling Company here in Memphis. Macaulay, tell us about the uniqueness of your Blue Note Bourbon and Riverset Rye.
Well, Eli, both my products, Blue Note Bourbon and Riverset Rye, are produced right here in Memphis, Tennessee. The Blue Note Bourbon is a premium small batch blend, minimum age of 9 years, served at 93 proof. The Riverset Rye is a straight rye whiskey, also at 93 proof. It's a great spicy herbaceous tone. It's great in cocktails.
Where can folks find Blue Note Bourbon and Riverset Rye?
Both products can be found at any local liquor store here in Memphis and also at most bars and restaurants. Next time you're down the town, be sure to ask your bartender for a glass of Blue Note or Riverset.
And is there anywhere else that folks can get more information about your products?
Yeah, absolutely. At our website, BlueNoteBourbon.com or RiversetRye.com. Also be sure to follow us on social media at Blue Note Bourbon or at Riverset Rye.
All right, well, that sounds great. I can't wait to try a bottle.
Yeah, Eli, I really appreciate the support, and hopefully you and your listeners can pick up a bottle today.
I almost never go to Central Barbecue without running into somebody I know.
That could be because you only eat at Central Barbecue.
It's because Central Barbecue is where Memphians go to get barbecue and has consistently been voted the most popular barbecue restaurant among locals.
Actually, that's really saying something.
I know. Memphis is the nation's capital of barbecue. With all the choices, people who live here go to Central Barbecue.
They do get their share of tourists.
Sure, because Central Barbecue has been mentioned on TV and in tons of national publications. You know why?
Because of the great food?
Because those TV shows and magazines look for the place where the locals go, and that, my friend, is Central Barbecue.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at Quincy White Station. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
You guys are hot.
Welcome back. Final half hour from Town Village Audubon Park. Senior living in today's world, offering more options to fit your needs more than ever before, dedicated to the long-term satisfaction and quality of life for their residents. You can call them for more information at 901-537-0002. Go online to townvillageaudubonpark.com. They have short-term and respite stay, monthly options, including right now they have a one-bedroom special going on, and it's something that you can do month to month. No long-term commitment if you don't like. 901-537-0002 for more information. All they ask is that you're 55 or over, so maybe it's something you're looking forward to in the future for yourself or your parents or your grandparents. It's just a great place. They're happy people. They love us when we're out here, and we love being with them. It's Town Village Audubon Park.
The Tiger Basketball Report. Got my list now, brought to you by Big River Distillery, of course, with their Blue Note Bourbon and River Set Rye that's available in liquor stores and bars around the city, and it's all made right here in Memphis. Neil's Bar and Grill over on Quince in the Yorkshire Square. Getaway Sports Bar over on Winchester. Ben Swanger Glass online at benswangerglass.com, and, of course, the location right across from the Liberty Bowl on Hollywood, as well as Central Barbecue and their 4 Memphis area locations.
I noticed last night, like is usually the case, Penny Hardaway comes out of the tunnel into FedEx Forum, and the fans go berserk. And, again, this is less than 24 hours after the news came down about Memphis and the IARP. The support is still there. I think there's still many people that believe this is a vendetta by the NCAA. There are other people that believe the school is at fault because they put them in that situation by playing James Wiseman. Overall, and again, right now it's just speculation, Matt, as to what this group is going to do. The IARP, we know there's no appeal process. What are your thoughts?
Strange situation. Of course, this is the first time anybody's going to appear before this group. And I think the thing that bothers me is there's no precedent for what is going to happen. You're going into this thing just blind, basically. You don't know how these people are going to react. I know they're supposed to be impartial. I mean, I assume they are, but they're independently acting. What do you do? I mean, you trust these people to be that way. You just don't know until you go in there. And I think the panel, to me, they got 2 questions asked themselves. Are we going to be tough in the beginning since this is the first time out? Are we going to be that way? Or are we going to be very, very, impartial and look over here? I just don't know the nature of these people. I don't know any of them. I've seen a couple of the names. I recognize them, but I know nothing about how these people are. And it's I don't like not having an appeal process. I think that's a very difficult thing.
That's the scary part about it without appeal. But it's because the thing is, like, they could say, like, we're going to send a message here to these schools that, like, we're going to be harsh, like, so you don't want to screw up. Or they could say, like, we kind of want to send a message to the NCAA that some of your rules are stupid. And so, like, some of these things that you're trying to penalize people for, we don't think you should be penalizing them for. And so we're going to set the precedent that we're going to be easy on some of this stuff.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Now, how's NCAA going to react to that if they do that? I mean, you know how they are. Boy, they'll really bow up. It'll be interesting to see if they do that or not.
Unless, Matt, they've gotten to a point where they put this panel together, not for them to be the henchmen of their group, but that they're looking at it going, maybe they're starting to be humans, and they're looking at these rules, some of them being archaic, and they're thinking maybe we need some outside eyes to look at what we're doing, especially on complicated cases like they judged this one to be or deemed this one to be.
Well, it's a shame they have to do that to me. You've got a group that's governing you, and instead of doing the right thing to me and being correct and being fair, they rule one way for one school and another way for another school, so it throws it up in the air.
It's arbitrary.
It is, and now you got to go and get this other group to decide your rules and regulations. And me, that's a crazy thing to have to do for the NCAA. And it's funny that Kansas released all that information last night. For some coincidence, this information comes out, no, we don't think Bill Self did anything wrong. I'm not saying he did or not. But it was really funny to me. I'm reading this, and this comes out.
Well,
it's really strange.
That was known that their response was coming out that day before the NCAA.
The timing was interesting.
But that was known that they were responding to their allegations. Their response to the allegations, some of that stuff is ridiculous.
How long that response was? I think it was 38 pages long.
It was long. It was very long.
These things aren't.
It's not like 2 sentences.
They aren't for the faint of heart. These things, because it's a lot of a lot of the responses. It's kind of like when I wrote papers in college. Like you got to, like, it's got to be how long? All right, I've got about 2 pages of material. I got to stretch it to 6 pages.
You got to start coming up with everything.
The longer
exactly.
you make it, the better off it looks. Like if you had 38 pages of response, it makes you look like you really have done you've done a lot of work here.
Exactly.
These are all the reasons you think that it's wrong.
Eli knew what he's talking about. Man, he's got a 40-page.
Well, you know what we did? We BS'd. We on the other pages we just started to BS.
Oh, yeah.
Is that exactly what Kansas is doing? Who knows if that? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. I was way off with the number. 149 pages.
It was long.
For KU's response. I don't know why I said 38. I was thinking 138. I said 38. 149.
Well, even front and back would be more than that. So
it's hoping that they don't read this thing. It's like we were going to clobber you, Kansas, but my gosh, we don't want to read through this
right.
thing.
I'm not
All
saying
right,
they're guilty or anything, but it's just weird that you have to go outside of your own group to get a fair and equitable response to some of these things.
I can tell you, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, but it's Kansas. It's a blue blood. There are a bunch of people that believe that Memphis is going to get hammered because they're Memphis, that they're not looking at the facts.
Well, it shouldn't be that way if that's the case. And
but
that's what I'm saying. There's been some cases that you don't understand. There's no question about it.
But here's the other thing. Is there more information that was not divulged originally that is also part of this that we don't know about?
Well, you're going to find out when this hearing happens. You will know.
We shall see.
All right. Final thing for you. Yesterday they announced the Memphis all-time men's basketball centennial team, going back to the days of Memphis State and continuing through the University of Memphis. Here are the 10. Forrest Arnold, Win Wilfong, Larry Finch, Ronnie Robinson, Andre Turner, Keith Lee, Elliot Perry, Rodney Carney, Penny Hardaway, Chris Douglas Roberts / Supreme Bay. Those are the 10. Does not include the one-and-doneer guys. It does not include Derrick Rose. There's no Larry Keenan on this who had a
I'm amazed Larry
freshman
Keenan's not on there.
Single year. Should there be one-year guys on here? And who would you take off and who would you put on for these 10?
I would basically leave those guys on there. I mean, I don't know who you take